Hello, welcome to learningmdx.com. My name is Moaz, and in this video we will explore the default query editor for writing MDX. Just like SQL, the default editor for writing MDX is Management Studio. So let's open Management Studio. For connecting to analysis service, what you need to do is in front of server type, you select analysis service. Usually when we are writing SQL, we have database engine selected, but for MDX or analysis service, we select analysis service. This is the name of your analysis service server. Select connect, and this would basically take you to your object explorer. Now this would under the database tab, you will see all the different analysis service databases that are hosted. So there are two ways to query an analysis service database. The first one is you expand the database name and then you expand cubes. You right click the cube and say browse. So it will start basically a UI where you can kind of drag and drop your selections and the query would be automatically generated. So let's go ahead and try it. So here we see we have a query automatically being generated and the results are displayed. So this is one way, but obviously since the query is automatically generated and this tool is basically related to it, basically it's very tightly coupled to its UI design, so you cannot the kind of MDX that can be generated is pretty limited. So you cannot really push MDX to its limits on this tool. Other way to do it is, again, we expand our database. In fact, we don't need to expand our database. We just right click our database and we go to new query and select MDX. This will open a new query window just like it does for SQL. Now let's explore our query. So this is the drop down which says the selected cube at the moment. So at the moment it's AdventureWorks. Now this is the cube within the selected database. Earlier this drop down was showing us the selected database. This is showing us the selected cube within that database, and these are the different available options. Now we see a drop down saying measure group. So what exactly is a measure? I'll come to the measure group in a moment. Let me first introduce measures and dimensions. So this is a list of all the measure groups that are present, and within a measure group, for instance, internet sales, these are the different measures that are present. So let's go ahead and explore a dimension. So let's say we explore employee dimension. This is a dimension. Here you see some attributes are grouped. So for instance, phone is a contact attribute, and demographics we have base rate, gender, marital status. Now these are two very interesting things. This one which has an icon which has kind of a triangular display of blocks. It's kind of a pyramid shape. This is a user hierarchy. On the other hand, this one with an arrow pointing towards itself, this is a parent-child hierarchy. So what a user hierarchy and a parent-child hierarchy is, I'll explain later, but for now you just need to know this is a parent-child hierarchy, this is a user hierarchy, and this is a normal attribute within dimension employee. Now coming back to the measure group. So let's go ahead and select. In fact, let me just expand this so that it makes sense. Okay, so now go ahead and select internet sales. As soon as we select internet sales, you can see internet sales is the only box or the measure group that's left on this panel, plus the dimensions have also been reduced. We cannot find our employee dimension at the moment. So what exactly is a measure group? Measure group basically is a collection of many measures that are coming out of the same fact table, and the dimensions displayed when we select a particular measure group are those dimensions which are relevant for that particular fact. So in our case, there is no relevance between employee and internet sales. Therefore, div employee is not there when we select internet sales. However, if we go to, let's say, reseller sales, now we do see employee. So that is exactly how it works. Now there is another tab here, functions. So these are different functions that you can use while writing MDX. So for instance, you have closing period, last period, then you have aggregate average. So there are many functions which we'll discuss as we go on in the series. This is the window where you will be writing MDX. So once we write our MDX, we press execute and the results would be displayed. So let me just write a simple query. You don't need to worry about what exactly it means. I'll explain you that in a bit. Right now, just see how the results are returned. So let's select a measure. We'll select reseller seller's amount, and we will select, let's select the calendar year. So by the way, you can always drag and drop anything onto the display, just like this. Pretty similar from SQL, from the SQL. So, and this is my query. So let's go ahead and execute it. So here you see that we get a result. You don't need to worry what this result is. I'll explain you what it is in time. Right now, we just need to understand what is the environment like. So if we click messages, we will see it says cell set consists of 11 rows and 2 columns. Now every time you'd see an additional count for row, because cell set considers first one, which is effectively column heading, as also a part of result. Secondly, you would notice that instead of data set, it says cell set. So MDX results are returned in cell set. We'll take a look at cell set also, but this is another time. Again, you can save the query just like this, and you can reconnect to your cube like this. So that part is pretty consistent from the SQL side of Management Studio. So this is it for this session, and I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you so much.